Good morning. So since summer is very much upon us all, I have been feeling increasingly more whimsical and wanting to feel more like a fantasy character, combined with the fact that I have fallen into a very deep rabbit hole of LARP content, and as I recently found out, content about the Brandywine Festival, a massive Hobbit LARP that I sadly can't go to. I've been wanting to incorporate more hobbity and elvish elements into my outfits. So fear not, I have a solution, and today I will be adding something to my wardrobe. I started by planning out my idea, which consists of a leaf bag. You've probably seen many variations of this, as it is inspired of various leaf bags I have seen on the internet, but I basically just wanted to use a pair of old shorts to make a leaf belt bag. My idea is essentially to just use a pocket from these shorts that are already green, thankfully, to turn them into this belt bag. So the main things I have to do is cut it into shape. I use soap for tracing the lines, which is a handy trick that you can use if you do sewing. I don't have a sewing machine, so I will be doing all of this by hand, but I think that just adds more to the whimsy of this project in my opinion. I have been feeling a lot more whimsical as summer comes around, and as I mentioned before, all of the rabbit holes I fell into from LARPs into specifically the Hobbit LARP, the Brandywine Festival, into general whimsical crafting folks such as Wizard's Keep. Go check them out if you're into that kind of content. I have been very inspired by them to make this video. So I have been spending a lot more time crafting, and probably more videos are going to be coming out in this vein. After cutting the pocket to shape, I started disassembling it to remake it into the correct shape, specifically the top part of this pocket, since it consists of two openings, the main opening and the front pocket. So by removing the original pocket cover, I left space for making the leaf-shaped one. Now, I've actually made something similar to this bag before, which was a belt pouch. This time I'm actually making a full-on belt bag, which has an attachable belt that you can put on directly, whereas this has back loops which can be strung onto a belt. And I am pretty much massacring it to use it for the front leaf-shaped pocket of this bag. And that worked out pretty well, so I am once again tracing it to be able to cut it to shape. To make the leaf shape a little more realistic, I wanted to add leaf veins onto the bag, which I will do by just hand embroidering them, which is a pretty tedious process, but it was honestly not that bad. It only took me like half an hour maybe. And it is a very relaxing process, honestly. I enjoy crafting things and making them by hand. And this project is honestly getting me very interested in sewing in general. I have always been wanting to make clothes by hand, but sewing them by hand seems like a little too much of a big task for me, so I'm debating getting a sewing machine at some point. I might do that. If you have experience with them, let me know. Let me know how they are, let me know if it's worth it. But for now I am content just making things by hand and making small accessories and such. Speaking of, I might just turn this into a full-on series, because I've been wanting to make more whimsical accessories, more LARP adjacent accessories, if that makes sense. Not that I'm currently able to go to any LARPs in my area, but I do think dressing up is fun. I do think including fantasy elements in your daily wear is fun, so I've been trying to do a lot more of that recently, and people have noticed and pointed it out to me, which is very funny. I was talking to a friend of mine recently and said, yeah, so I've been getting really into the Lord of the Rings again recently, and I said, yeah, I can tell. You look like a hobbit. And I don't know if I should be embarrassed or take that as a compliment, but I'm opting for the latter to save myself the mental struggle. I am definitely very hyper-fixated on Lord of the Rings again at the moment. It was a huge inspiration for me when I was younger, when I was little, and it is definitely more of an inspiration for me now again, especially with my art and the themes in what I draw. I haven't been posting my art online as much recently because I'm trying to focus on myself and on making art that I actually enjoy rather than focusing on engagement, though I am planning to be more active this summer. So stick around if you enjoy whimsical content, if you, like me, are hyper fixated on things like Lord of the Rings and the Brandywine Festival. I am genuinely harassing my girlfriend with how much I'm talking about the Brandywine Festival and bringing it up, and my mom. Having a hyperfixation is both a blessing and a curse, especially since I can't go. This purse isn't directly related to the Brandywine Festival, but it is, I don't know, compared to Blambus bread, it is also a leaf. Compared to hobbity attire, compared to elvish attire, I feel like it's something that a hobbit could wear potentially. I am just making excuses for bringing the Brandywine Festival into this, but what am I gonna do? So yeah, I stitched the entire front pocket cover of this purse, and now I just need to turn it inside out, which is always fun to do. It's always kind of stressful because I always worry about the stitches not holding up properly and there being holes, but this time it turned out pretty okay, so I'm not that worried about it. The other purse I made, as you may have seen earlier in the video, was coming apart at the seams on the bottom because it couldn't hold the weight of my phone and things I was putting in it, so hopefully that doesn't happen with this bag also. I was super happy with how the bag was turning out at this point, especially because there hadn't been any massive hurdles, or any hurdles at all really, in making it. It went pretty smoothly, and I'm glad about that. So I added the pocket cover onto the front of the bag, and that was one of the last steps, leaving me to just create the very wonky button opening and attach the loops that would make the bag detachable from the belt. I couldn't create the footage with my phone at this point because it had run out of space, but I did manage to get some progress videos anyhow. So with that, and me attaching the final loops, thank you for watching if you made it this far, and I hope you enjoyed this whimsical crafting episode of mine. This may become part of a series if I get invested enough in it, so let me know what you thought of it. And subscribe if you're interested in more whimsical content from me. And yeah, have a good day. Bye.